We're talking about the 19-year-old, unarmed, white man shot to death by Fresno police just the other day. Just released body cam video shows Dylan Noble walking toward the officers with one hand behind his back. I'm Mike Slater sitting in for Dr. Drew. Thanks for being here. Here's what happens right before the cops open fire. Another warning video is graphic here. Take a look.
Over to your hands. Good. Stop. Stop reaching.
Get down on the ground now.
Stop.
Get down on the ground now. Get your on the ground.
Stop.
Fresno Police Department. Drop whatever you have in your hand.
Stop.
Come forward. You're going to get shot, man. Get
Stop.
down on the ground now.
Back with Annalise, Tiffany, Randy, Eric, and Warren, who's Dylan's attorney, who's still on the phone. Annalise, I want to start with you. You said during the break, and I want to make sure I heard you right, that this hasn't been getting national attention because the video was just released. I would like to posit that this is not getting national attention because it doesn't fit the Black Lives Matter narrative. We know now that twice as many white people are killed by police officers every year as black people. That's why I don't think this is getting attention. What do you think? Well,
of course, the Black Lives Matter isn't picking it up. It's a white guy. It's not a black guy. So that doesn't fall in line with their movement. I think that the reason that the other media services haven't been picking it up, because there is an issue right now with the general population, not just Black Lives Matter, but the general population being concerned about police violence, excessive force. The reason that we haven't seen this picked up to date is because we didn't have the corresponding video. But I don't fault Black Lives Matter for not picking this up. It's a white guy.
No, because the beginning of Black Lives Matter, if I remember correctly, was what you just said. It was about police brutality, and that is a righteous cause that should be championed. But because it was not brutal against the white guy, it's not getting attention because it's Black Lives Matter, not all lives matter, right?
Well, those are two different things. Those are two different things. And I think that it's unfair to take away what they're trying to say. What they're trying to say is we're looking at how it's a disproportionate impact on the African-American community, the excessive force we're seeing by the police. That is their battle cry. That's what they're talking about. And to say, well, we want to lump it in with everything else that's going on with the police, we're losing sight of what I believe one of their underlying issues is with focusing on what's happening with the African-American youth and how it relates with the police.
Well, I'm definitely down with that story, too. But, Randy, I want to go to you. So this is according to the police chief in Fresno. I don't understand this quote at all. So one of the officers said during his interview that he felt Noble was either taunting him or practicing pulling out a gun. I don't understand either of those two possibilities. What is he saying there?
I'm not really sure either. I mean, if you're practicing pulling out a gun, you're pulling out a gun. I don't understand that either. I mean, the conduct that I saw from him was very typical of suicide by cop, though. And the statement that he made just towards the very end was very, very important to this whole discussion. I hate my blanking life.
Yeah.
That is, suicide cop is a very real thing.
I want to bring it back to Warren, who is Dylan's lawyer. Again, Warren, it comes up, suicide by cop. I mean, that's the argument that the police department's making. We have a psychotherapist here who says this has all the signs of that. How do you prove that that's not what this was?
Well, I don't know, but I have young kids, and kids nowadays use that phrase when they're going to get in trouble. If he was under the influence and he thought he was going to get arrested, that's not a good thing for him. So that could have been the reason for the comment. We'll never know because they've shot and killed Dylan. But at the end of the day, he does not have any type of mental illness, psychotherapy problems. He was a good kid. He had a full-time job, and he graduated, and he has no criminal record.
Tiffany,
they knew that when they pulled him over. That it was a traffic stop. There's no way you connect the rifle incident 3 miles away to this traffic stop. So I beg to ask, when you're pulling a person over, that's a felony situation that they're engaging their weapons.
Tiffany, 30 seconds. How do you prove that maybe he did want suicide by cop now that, as the lawyer said, he's dead? What do we do now with that?
Yeah, I don't think that you necessarily can prove that, but I don't think that you can either. Because he doesn't have a history of mental illness doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't have mental illness or didn't have mental illness at the time of his death. As we know, and as Dr. Drew would tell you if he was here, at 19 is a critical age. Most kids, when they are diagnosed with either schizophrenia, depression, any of those diagnoses, they often are having their very first break and first bouts of depression and
Warren,
voices and all of those things. So,
Warren, I really got to go. What do you want the officers charged with, real quick?
Some type of manslaughter charge. Those last two shots were clearly in a situation they didn't. You know, it's got to be imminent danger for fear of their life or serious bodily injury. And if you're telling me that the kid lying down on the ground with 2 bullet holes is posing a serious bodily threat to you, whether he's reaching or not, I disagree.
Warren, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And give my best to the family, because no matter what we all think about this, it's still a tragic situation. Coming up next, interview about race degenerates into an ugly war of words on live TV with 2 of my favorite people. We'll tell you about that next.